and welcome to my live stream tonight. This is Columbus Day weekend, so I may have some Columbus Day trivia questions for you all. But basically, I don't really have a topic. We're just going to talk about whatever. And it's kind of an AMA and ask me anything, and I will answer as long as the questions are reasonable. I did this once before, you all, and I got questions about, am I single? Things like that. We're not even going to go there because the answer is no. I am not single, have not been single for almost 40 years. We'll just establish that right off the bat. But, I have had some people ask for this. So I want to do content that you all want to watch. Anytime you have suggestions, comments, questions, yep, it is Gayle, Gayle. You can see in the corner, one of the corners. Here we go. That's how you spell my first name, Gayle. And then my last name is, last part of it is GailCrabtree.com. So it's Gayle at GailCrabtree.com. It's also in the description box, I believe. Woo! Hope everyone has had a good weekend. Now, this is a 3-day weekend, so we get to claim tomorrow as well, which is great. Unless you're like me and you're waiting on a package from Amazon. In which case, maybe it's not so great because I don't anticipate that the mail is going to run on a federal holiday, because it doesn't usually, right? So, yeah, but that's okay. It's great for everything else, right? And we get to spend time together. We can have a cookout. We can just veg, right? And I know there's a lot of controversy about Columbus Day, and we're not really even going to get into the controversy at all. We're just going to kind of ignore it, whether it's Columbus Day or you're in one of the states that calls it Indigenous Peoples Day. Either way you go, you get the day off, right? Because it's a federal holiday. Yay! So, travel plans. I hope you all are making travel plans. It doesn't have to be, your travel doesn't have to be anything big. Got a question about what do I mean by 1-day vacations? Well, basically, a 1-day vacation is just a day out, just to go out and do something different. With tomorrow coming up, grab a picnic and go hit the park downtown or right on the outskirts, something close to where you live, but just make the day different by going out and just having a picnic. It doesn't have to be an all day thing, just to get you a change of pace, something positive, something fun. Nature is always nice and relaxing. And of course, if you want to go out and spend the day on a lake somewhere or swimming, if it's warm enough where you are to swim, it won't be, it's not here. But if it's warm enough where you are, go out and do that. So a 1-day vacation or a day trip or a one tank trip, they're sometimes called, they're really easy to put together and they're not expensive. And this day and age, nobody needs expensive, right? So let me see. I've got some folks in here. Spider-Man the Hero is in. Hey, Spider-Man the Hero. I'm sorry. Busy Lady is in. Hey, Busy Lady. Now, Busy Lady says that she can hear me. Okay. And Spider-Man is saying she hears. Okay. Busy Lady says she hears me just fine. LOL, she thinks we can read lips. No, I don't. But I am going to pull it up on my phone and see if I can hear it. My mic is plugged in, just so you know. I will show you, maybe. Well, there it is. You can see the cord right there. I am plugged in. And I'm plugged in down at the bottom too. So let me see. I'll pull it up. Okay. I don't want to be too loud here with my phone. Up, there's a Google ad. Yay for Google, right?
Oh, there's a Google ad.
I hear it.
Yay for Google,
I can hear
right?
it. So I can hear it. Busy lady can hear it. So I am betting you somehow have me muted. So check the mute. But you have to be able to hear me some, or you wouldn't be able to respond. So yeah. Spider-Man says, I can hear now. Yay. Okay, good. I'm glad. So, yeah, weekend plan. Have you all got weekend plans? Plans for tomorrow for your day off? I hope you get a day off. Whenever we have a holiday on a Monday, I feel sorry for our trash collectors in this town because trash runs on Tuesday, so they don't get the benefit. They still have to pick up the trash on Tuesday. So I kind of feel bad for them. They're nice people too. Only when you talk into the mic. Okay. Well, the mic is supposed to be. No, I'm not falling for that. You got mad at me last time. You gave me a thumbs down on the video, which is a great way to get me banned. Not banned. Shadow banned. And we don't want that to happen. Lord knows I'm having enough trouble without being shadow banned. That's one thing I don't want to have to deal with. So, especially right now. So you all heard I'm getting a new service dog, hopefully, because last time they pulled the candidate on the day of graduation. So if I go up and this happens, I am just going to be the most heartbroken person. And we've got lots of things to do to get ready for that trip. I got to go clean the RV. I've got to get new dog stuff because I need like bigger bowls and a bigger dog bed because I'm going from a 65-pound lab to up to 115 plus pound mountain dog, Bernese mountain dog. So yeah, it's kind of crazy around my house right now. Plus the holiday, and tomorrow I'm going to go in and make some homemade meatballs and stuff like that just because it's Columbus Day and the theory is that Columbus is Italian. Okay. Phew. I'm like moving my mic closer and stuff. Okay. Peter says, Gail, I'm just messing with you. So thank you, Spider-Man the hero. I'm glad you clarified that. I really am. I was getting kind of worried there, Just a little worried. Okay, more like a lot worried, but thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it. So what all is on you all's mind? I've got a few trivia questions that I can toss out. ChatGPT created these immediately before the live stream. So I glanced at them and they all look right to me. But if ChatGPT gives me something that's incorrect, let me know. I will trust you all to keep me on the straight and narrow and let me know. Peter says now we're even. Ha. I really feel bad about that. I went and clipped it out. He's upset because I was doing a live stream and I called out HEYGOOGLE without realizing it. So sorry about that, but I did go back and clip it out. I never dreamed that was going to happen to anybody's phone because on mine responds to me, but my husband's doesn't. It responds to him and vice versa. So I just never dreamed that somebody else's phone would pick up like that. So I still feel bad. Yeah. Oh, and I got good news. I got a new phone. It's coming. I use Google Fi. I love Google Fi Wireless. I was on Straight Talk for years. Actually, I I was able to get Straight Talk here before the Walmarts had Straight Talk. Somebody contacted me and they're like, hey, you use a prepaid phone. Do you know about Straight Talk? And I was like, no. And it was cheaper than what I was using. So I very happily switched. But I switched to Google Fi back when I went to Alaska last so I could get some calling in Alaska and Canada and had no problems with it at all. So I'm really happy with it, but I keep dropping my phones as everything else. And this last time that I dropped it, it just went smash. I was going to do the whole insurance thing, had a $50 deductible on the insurance, but I got a little thing saying that they had a promotion going on. And if I wanted to go from the Google Pixel to the Moto G Stylus 2025, I could do that, send my Pixel in, and switch over for $50. Well, $49.99, 50 minus a penny. So I'm like, why should I send it in for a refurb? I'll just get a new one. The heck with those refurbs. So I was really glad. I've really enjoyed it. If anybody else wants to switch, let me know. I can get you a coupon code most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. So I really like it, though. I really like it. We've got insurance on the phone. But like my basic plan is $50 for unlimited standard. And that includes the hotspot tethering. All I want is unlimited. And US, Canada, and Mexico calling. And what the kicker was when I had Straight Talk, and this is something I was asked about phone service, which one I use. But when I had Straight Talk, I could call from the US into Canada, but I couldn't call when I was in Canada because I didn't have phone service. And for $50, I was like, hey, so I like it. So what can I say? It's pretty good. Spider-Man's giving me a thumbs up. So good. That's a hard-earned thumbs up when it comes from Spider-Man. So I've got 3 people in. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm only streaming on one platform tonight, but I think I'm going to go ahead and toss out a couple of trivia questions just so you can see how you do and go from there. Y'all want to try a couple? Okay, now Spider-Man is saying I like better is unlocked phone, like Samsung S25 Ultra phone is good. My S22 Ultra lasted for 3 years. That's really good. That is a very long time in cell phone life. I like Samsung's really well. But I had the Moto G Stylus right before I went up to the Google Pixel, and I really like the camera on it. And somebody told me that the Samsung at Walmart, that the Samsung cameras weren't as good anymore. But when they popped up with this deal, I thought, why not? Take a chance on it. For the same price as the deductible, I figure I'll give it a shot. I was really pleased last time. And the only reason I switched was to switch carriers. And I didn't want to deal with an unlocked phone with the carrier just because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. Or you'll get partial use out of the phone. Hey, Busy Lady says she's here listening. Yay, thank you. And I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate all of your little farm shorts and clips and videos and stuff because they're cute and they're fun and they're uplifting. There's just, I don't know, there's just something about critters. Maybe it's just the animal person in me. But for me, it's just relaxing and it's just kind of nice. I mean, they have no agenda other than to be what they are. There's like no hidden guesses or anything like that. And yeah, so I like it. So thank you for creating that. All right, so I'm going to toss out just a couple of trivia questions here. And one is, in what year did Christopher Columbus first arrive in the Americas? And I'm going to give you a couple of dates. 1492, 1592, or 1692? Which one is it? 1492, 1592, or 1692? Spider-Man the hero had the answer before I hardly even had the question out of my mouth. And that's not right. 1942. See, when you have dyscalculia, which is a math thing where your numbers transpose, it's kind of like dyslexia for math. I looked at that and my mind at first glance translated it to the correct answer, but it's not. He got it right at 1492. And busy lady's like, oh man. Yeah, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Oh, Spider-Man did a typo. See, I thought you were messing with me again. I thought for sure you were messing with me. Busy lady says boo. Yep, remember that rhyme we had to learn in school, or we did in the old ancient days anyway. We did the rhyme. Things may have changed. I don't know. All right. So, what were the names of Columbus's? Okay, sorry. Columbus had 3 ships: the Nina, the Pinta, and one more. Do you remember the name of the 3rd ship? Was it called Santa Maria, Santa Claus, or Maria? I'll let y'all guess on that one. This is not that hard. It is Santa Maria. Busy lady nailed it. Good for you, busy lady. She got it. Yeah. And have you all ever seen a mock-up of or a recreation of one of those ships? We went several years ago. Those things are tiny. Tiny, tiny. I was really, really surprised. I don't know how on earth they managed to survive an ocean voyage at all. They were insanely small. We were walking around on deck and I was like, you are kidding me. So if y'all ever get a chance to go see one, do that. And Spider-Man says boo. You all are getting ready for Halloween, right? With all the boos. Busy says, I don't know how I remember that. I forget why I walked into the next room. And then she laughs at Spider. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in. Go run your errands. Have a good weekend. And thank you. It's good to see you. So bye though. Yes, it'll be Halloween before we know it. What? Like 3 weeks away, not even? It is, I gotta pull this up now. About almost 3 weeks. Yeah. I'll be gone, I think. That'll be so nice. to be gone for Halloween and not here. Because we get hundreds of kids that I have to prep for and get candy for. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Halloween. I like seeing people dressed up. But I don't like buying anywhere from 300 to 500 pieces of candy, or actually candy for 300 to 500 kids. We had enough traffic, honest to gosh, for the last 2-3 years. We had enough traffic that the cops came out and they stopped traffic right in front of my house. So the kids, I was like the last one that had the lights on this block, and they stopped the traffic so kids could cross the street safely and get to my house. I am not kidding. So we get bunches of kids. Peter Parker saying Christmas less than 60 days. That's going to be here before we know it too. But hey, if you all shop for Christmas, shop my Amazon link. I need the money. That's down in the description box below. I'll never know that you did because like Amazon doesn't tell me like who ordered or anything like that. I just find out that somebody ordered and I'm always grateful for it. My percentage selling stuff through Amazon, the commission that I get is anywhere from 1% to 5%. Most of the time, it's kind of in the middle. I will say I probably have never seen 5%. But it adds up. It all helps. I have to have $10 to get over the threshold. Sometimes I don't get that much, and I have to wait till the next couple of months or sometimes the next month. But Christmas really helps because I have a lot more people shopping my link at Christmas. So when it pays, which is like, I think it's 45 days or maybe it's 60 days. I think it's 45 after the end of the month that somebody buys something. So usually all my Christmas money that comes in from Amazon goes on my utility bills for the heat bills, for that month. So January or February. It's kind of just the way it goes. So if you all shop on Amazon and you want to shop my link, I would appreciate it. It does not cost you any more than it usually would if you order from Amazon anywhere else. It's just an affiliate link that gets a little bit of a commission on most items, not everything, but most items. And it just helps. It just helps. So in that one, I'm going to give a shameless plug on the URL on that. That's amazon.com/shop/Gail Crabtree. There's my name again. I wanted to do Be Bodacious, but it wasn't available. So yeah. And I am actually, believe it or not, having some trouble typing my name in and getting platforms to take it. I had to get it set up the other day on another platform. I do mystery shopping and they changed who they pay through. Oh my gosh. So that was one of the places. And yeah, I think it's caught up in like the whole gay and lesbian stuff because when I type it in, take out the apostrophe, and you kind of have something that's not necessarily PC. And I think that's what's getting me on some of the platforms. So I'm having to use my first name. So, it's not terrible, but if it's tied up with a URL or something like that, it can be, troublesome. If everybody knows to look for you under Gail, and then you suddenly toss out, your first name, it could be a little confusing. Because like sometimes I don't even remember to answer to my last name, But such is life. At least I can blame. That's one thing I can totally blame on my mother. That spelling is not my fault. I would not have named me that. I probably would have, I don't know what I would have named myself, but it wouldn't have been that. Say la vie, say la vie. Yeah, Spider-Man's laughing. But yeah, you can see how it gets kind of caught up in all that. Oops. What can I say? But twice now I have had trouble putting it in and getting it set up on a new platform. So like I was actually kind of sweating it out because my domain, gailcrabtree.com, I was like, what if that doesn't renew? You know, because like I'm just waiting now to have trouble with the renewal on it. But I'm just worried for nothing. I guess we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. So hopefully it won't happen, but if it does, then definitely later on. It's just funny the things you get into sometimes on the internet that you just never would have thought. I actually had a rainbow up on my page for a while and then I kept getting questions. So, yeah, what can we do? One more thing to add to the craziness of life. So, all right. So, the next question, next trivia question. I see we've got 3 people watching. So, if you can and you would like, just dive on into the chat. We've got Peter Parker here, who is Spider-Man the hero. Busy Lady was in here. And I don't know who the third person is. So, come on in and introduce yourself. And by the way, we do this on Sunday nights at 7:30, and you'll see some pop-up live streams from me periodically. Me still here. Yay for Spider-Man. Thank you for hanging out with me. Okay, so the next trivia question is, what country sponsored Columbia? What country sponsored Columbus's voyage across the Atlantic? Was it Spain? Was it Italy? Or was it Portugal? Spain, Italy, or Portugal? Which one is it? Which one is it? I'll go ahead and give you the answer. It was Spain. It was Spain. And now the next question is a little interesting, and we're gonna talk about that for just a minute. Columbus. This is your question, then we'll talk about the answer. Columbus was originally from which European country? Portugal, Spain, or Italy? Which country? And I'm going to type this in to get an answer for you on what we're fixing to talk about here. Okay, and I'll go ahead and tell you that is Italy. And there's a fun fact about Italy. You know, we hear a lot about Columbus being from Italy, but what they mean when they say that is they're talking about the boot and not the country itself. Because Italy, and a lot of people on this side of the pond don't realize it, but Italy didn't become a country until 1861. That's when Italy became a country, 1861. So that kind of throws people because you hear so much about like Roman times and ancient days in the whole European area, all of Europe. But at that time, you know, Italy wasn't a country. So the boot was generally like the area had the name of Italy, but it was really just a bunch of like smaller, like city states. And they didn't become a sovereign state until 1861, which, to put this in context, that more of us here in the United States can understand. 1861, April, I think it was 12th. April 12th it was, is when the Civil War started here in the States. So that's when Italy became a country, just that same timeline, being a lot newer than what people think. I'm going to pull this up so you'll know what I'm talking about there. Bum, 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 bum. So right here, worldatlas.com. When did Italy become a country? 1861. During the resurgence, a political movement that unified countries of the Italian peninsula, so that whole peninsula, that boot, was referred to as Italy. So they united into a single nation. And during the reign of the Roman Empire, the Italian peninsula was among the imperial provinces under the rule of the Romans. However, after the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century, all states of the Italian peninsula became subject to like the larger European power wrangles. And so what that just means is they were occupied several times by a bunch of other countries. So then it was, they did this whole unification thing, and Rome kind of didn't want to come and join, but anyway, that was a whole other thing. So, but anyhow, that's your extra bonus trivia fact for the night that probably nobody wanted to know. It's just interesting because you hear like some of the laws in the U.S. Go back to some of the Roman laws, and people just automatically assume that that's the country of Italy, which I found interesting. But anyway, I'm full of random little facts. I guess we all are. So here's another trivia question. What was Columbus trying to find when he sailed west from Spain? What was he trying to find? He was looking for something, and he didn't find it. And I'm not going to give you multiple choices on this one because ChatGPT didn't give me any multiple choices, and I can't think of anything right now. Hey, Candy the Wee Service Dog. Hi, Laurel. Hey. Just stopped by to say I hope to be watching the live streams on a regular basis soon. Right now, I haven't had much time. Have a great Columbus Day tomorrow. Candy and I say good night. Well, I hope you have a great Columbus Day too. And give Candy an extra pat on the head for me. And I don't know if you've heard my good news, but I should be getting another service dog by the end of the month, as long as everything goes well with class and they don't pull them at the last second. That's the big hope. Big hope. Okay. And I got it. Wait a minute. I got an email. Who did I get the email from? Wait a minute. Gail, can't be on tonight. I'll come back and watch. You mentioned having cards for Pipsy. What are those and what do they say? Oh, the cards. I actually have one right over here. Give me just a minute though, and I'll get that. So anyway, probably more than you ever wanted to know about Italy, but when Columbus came and sailed west, he was trying to find a new trade route to Asia, to the Indies. Tea and lots of other things were very, very popular, big money makers, and he was trying to find basically a shortcut. So a new trade route to Asia, which he bombed. And technically, he did not land in the United States, but yet we celebrate Columbus Day. He actually landed in the Bahamas. The island was named San Salvador, down in the Bahamas, and that's where he landed. And then he sailed on up and came on up to Cuba and so forth. So not ever hitting the States, but yet that was part of the Americas. So there you go. And all right. Pizza. Yep. In my house, we're going to have meatballs. I can't reach it. Hang on a second. Okay. The card. Okay, Natalie, you asked about the card. I hope you can tune in later. I'm going to write down the timestamp. No, I'm not. I'm going to take a picture of it so I can send that to you later. So the card that she's talking about, when somebody stops me and asks me about Pipsy, and I don't have time to like really stand there and go to like his whole history, because sometimes I'm in a hurry and I can't. I have these little cards that I put his paw print on them. This one has not been stamped yet because I just printed it and cut it yesterday. So we're waiting for a clear day to be able to put the paw prints on. And my card just says, "Hi, I'm Pipsy. I'm sorry I can't pet or play right now. I'm working. Here's my pawtograph," though. You get what I did there? Paw autograph. So here's my pawtograph, though. I hope it makes you smile. And then I go on to give some of the background information. As an ADA service dog, I get to go most places where my human mom goes. And the program in Kansas is a special school that taught me some cool tasks to help her out. This funny harness helps me brace her since she can't walk so good. But if I'm petted or distracted, I can miss her stumbles. I help with seizures, asthma, and do a fun high five. That's why she says I'm her good boy. And then there's a little plug saying, "See my book on Amazon, Pipsy Goes to Service Dog School." Followed by the other book, which is Service Dog Pipsy Helps After a Hurricane. And it's now out. And all of the profits from that through the end of the year is going to the long-term recovery group in my county, to help them out because we still have a lot of need. And I'm gonna pull that up really fast. Pipsy Helps After a Hurricane did not come up. Mia. I know it's in here. Because there it is. There it is. I'm overlooking it. So, all right, here it is. And I just wanted to do something to try to help the county because, we want to do various events and things like that. We've got Christmas coming. There's going to be a few things that people need once school starts up again. And so to try to help with that, ta-da! Service Dog Pipsy Helps After a Hurricane. And I did that with a little bit about our story because it is based on the true story. We went, he's a prison trained service dog. We made multiple supply runs to bring help to our corner of the county. And so over multiple trips, I logged over 3,500 miles with him right with me. And he never complained. He never fussed. He never complained. He was just a lot of help. And he even picked stuff up for me, like when I dropped it and stuff. And he just did good. So it's a book. It's a kid's book. And the profits are going to help. Like I said, they're going to help with the long-term recovery efforts from Hurricane Helene right here in this county, at least till the end of the year. So think of that for Christmas, right? If y'all know kids that are preschoolers, ta-da, there's your perfect gift. All right. Well, we're going to go back into the trivia questions. And oh man, without realizing it, I just gave you the answer and the question. Oh man. Okay. So anyway, the next question would have been, which island did Columbus first land on in 1492? And as we just talked about, it's an island in the Bahamas, which he gave the name of San Salvador down in the Bahamas. So, yeah, sorry about that. And the way we got Columbus Day is something I'm not going to really directly talk about that on my channel, but it's an interesting history of how Columbus Day came to be in the U.S. And I would really encourage you all to do some research on that and learn about it because it does have its roots in racism here in the United States and a mass and some things like that. So take some time and go read that because it may change your perception of the holiday. But basically, we almost went to war with another country over something that happened here, and to make that country appeased, that's how we got Columbus Day. So anyway, go look at that. That's a very dark period of our history, and like I said, I don't want to get flagged. Back to positive stuff, right? Back to positive. Which Spanish monarchs funded Columbus's voyage? Was it King Albert, King Ferdinand II, and Queen Isabella, or was it Queen Elizabeth? And I'm sorry, that's Queen Isabella the First. Let me clarify. Or was it Queen Elizabeth? Who funded it? Who gave the money? Because it was quite expensive to launch an entire voyage, especially, we're talking about 3 ships, 3 crews, all the supplies, everything that they needed. I mean, it's not cheap to go across the ocean now, and we're in better vessels. Let's just say that. It was crazy. So the Spanish monarchs that funded the voyage, you got to think Spain, and that was King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella the First that funded it. There was a lot of things that went into that. He was searching for riches, the new trade route. He wanted gold. So did the king and queen. But they also did it to help spread Christianity. And that's how we got where we are. All right. And which state, and this really threw me, okay? Because we think of Italians occupying the Northeast, right? The Southeast along the coast, and we think about some of the West Coast. In fact, New Orleans, which I know I just said West Coast, but New Orleans, for example, was a hotbed of Italian activity. And we think about like the Northeast, and we think about Chicago. But the first place to recognize Columbus Day in the U.S. was none other than Colorado. And that decision was led by an Italian American group in Denver who wanted a special holiday to honor Italian heritage in the state. And we had already had the event that led to the first Columbus Day, and then this came along. So, and that kind of eventually led to recognition in, most of the U.S., not all of it. And one of the largest Columbus Day parades in the U.S. is actually in Chicago. So I'm going to be kind of interested to seeing how that goes in the news. Why are your feet sore? You don't use them. You just cling and go from building to building with your webs. So I hope that they feel better, though. I really do. And the next question is, what day is Columbus Day observed in the United States? Is it the first Monday in October, the second Monday in October, or the third Monday in October? First, second, or third Monday in October? Oh, ouch. I'm sorry to hear that. They've got various medicines that you can take, but I took one of them for a while, and I swear that was worse than hurting. I hope you're not having that level of an issue. Prop them up. Be good to yourself. Do they still recommend warm Epsom salts for sore feet? I don't even know. If Living Well was in, I bet she could tell us. And the last question for the trivia is, what holiday is celebrated in many places instead of or alongside Columbus Day to honor Indigenous cultures? And that is Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, that's not a federally recognized day, but it is something that's, that some states recognize. So that's what I got. That's my trivia questions. Oh, and I do see I missed part of Natalie's question about the card. No, she's asking if they're commercially done. And no, the cards, they are not commercially done. They just are something that I printed out online, sometimes printed out at home on the computer is and sometimes I use cardstock. Sometimes for this, I just use regular paper, but I do it as a teaching tool, and something that can make kids feel positive, even though when they've asked to pet my service dog, I've had to say no. At least the kids are walking away with something kind of fun that they can show their friends, and it's got the education about the service dog on that too. So that's why. And yeah, I can. You're asking also if I can send you a copy of this, and yeah, I can send you the PDF or a photograph. No worries there. Got you covered, Natalie. Oh, wow. Diabetic nerve pain. Ow. Well, I'm sorry. I know that that's not something easy to deal with. I hope that you'll be able to get kind of, I think it tends, at least with somebody else that I know, it tends to kind of come in waves. So I hope that this wave passes quickly, because that's really hard. I don't have diabetic nerve pain, but in my right foot where I have the foot drop, I have pain and I have problems feeling. So it's similar, the doctor has said, to the diabetic nerve pain, but nothing compares, is what I've been told, to what you're going through with the diabetic pain. So hopefully it'll clear on out quickly. Okay, good. Good. Spider-Man says it will. So thank goodness for that. I am glad. So Natalie, I hope this answered your questions. When you see this, when you come back and watch this video, let me know if you have any more questions about it, because I'll be glad to answer or at least muddy the water up a little bit more. But I did take some of this about the service dog pretty much directly inspired by the ADA website, where it says, as an ADA service dog, I get to go most places where my human mom goes. So There you go. And we all know he's a huge help. So I'm anticipating that for the next dog too, that the next dog will be a big help. I'm looking forward to having a bigger dog too, because little Bipsy's just 65 pounds. And for a service dog, that's not very big, but obviously service dogs can be any size from very, very small, like Candy, that we service dog, is a Chihuahua, and they can go all the way up to any breed that you want. So Saint Bernard has been used for service dogs. People who have mobility issues will use Saint Bernards. I have seen an Irish Wolfhound that was in training, and those dogs, oh my gosh, those are some big dogs, giant breed dogs. And of course, Newfoundlands are used, and poodles are used, and small poodles are used. So all breeds. But I was flabbergasted when I saw an Irish Wolfhound. I don't know if you all, I'm going to pull this up because they are, I was just shocked. I was not familiar with an Irish Wolfhound. So until I saw one, and then it was like, oh my gosh, that thing was like a small horse. I'm going to pull this bad boy up and just show you some of the images. I hope I can find one really quick where the dog is standing. Here we go. Dog is standing next to a person. Can you all see this? Whoops. See if I can expand it here. That is not a small dog. Like, I could just picture going into the restaurant, like Pipsy has to get underneath the table. And I am kind of worried about it for the next dog because I don't know how the Bernese Mountain Dog is going to fit under the table, if that really is what I get. But I can just imagine this guy. Is he not huge? I mean, the feeding bill on one of those alone is enough to almost stop my heart, just thinking about that. So unbelievable, right? Let me get back here to the chat. Okay, she wants a bigger dog like a toy poodle. Yeah, no, I don't. But I did see that pressed into service one time, and the kid who got the toy poodle was just, oh my gosh, he was so cute. He was just adorable all over that poodle. So it just, when it works, it works. And seeing that kid paired up was just magic. Magic, magic, magic. Oh. So let's see here. Oh, face purple open box. Ha. Okay. I'm gonna have to pull this up. Oh yeah, I've got it running on my phone. See, on the back end, I use Streamlabs. So what I get on my end is like a description of what you actually see on y'all's side. So I've got to pull it. Oh, that's a cute little emoticon. That's cute. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, that's how sometimes I don't realize like what the emojis are. I'll show you what I see if it'll let me. I love this share screen. Well, I did say if it will let me. Live streaming studio. It's actually not going to let me. Oh, my stars. This is interesting. Okay, so I get the options, right? For Chrome tab, for Windows, or for the entire screen. And it is not giving me. Let me try one more thing here. There we go. I don't know. So It's not giving me the option here to show you all. So sorry about that. I was hoping to show you what I see, but that just didn't work. AI from photo to video is very cool. Really? I actually have not seen that done lately. Like I did it like years and years ago. What you could do was you could create a water effect on your photos, and it would the ripples in the water would shimmer and move. Or you could take like a waterfall, and if you had a photo, you could tap on the waterfall, make lots of dots on it, and it would move. But I haven't seen anything more complicated than that. That was like years ago. Years ago. What program do you suggest? Do you have one that you like? Inquiring minds want to know. I wonder if Bing will do that. I use like 3 different programs for AI stuff for the graphics that I did in the book, and still had to put a lot of them together myself. So as far as photo to video, I've just not done that yet. Any of the free AI images to video works, any photos? Interesting. I'm going to have to check into that because that sounds fun. I've got some photos that I would love to have made into videos. Like I've got one of the beach with my dog in front of the beach, but it's a still, so I don't have the beach or the waves or the grass is blowing or anything like that. And I thought the other day that'd be cool. It's fun and funny. I'm definitely going to check into that, especially with any photos. Okay. Because some of those changes, like I just mentioned, that goes back years ago. Okay. So I did pull up Bing Create, and I do see transform ideas into reality with AI creations. And some of them are moving. So maybe they took ideas from this. Interesting. I might have to play around with it. Probably. I actually have been for the Pipsy Hurricane book. I actually literally was up all night sometimes. But I wanted to get it done. And I wanted to get it done. I didn't get it in time for the anniversary, but I wanted to make sure I had it done and up and proofed and available during this month, because it's still where people are talking about and doing things for hurricane awareness, hurricane anniversary kind of things, and it's on people's mind. So I wanted to get that done. So yeah, up all night doing some videos. Doing some photos. And I didn't know I could change some of the photos into like a video format. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I like that. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, all right, let me just check and make sure that I had all the questions for Columbus Day. Yep, I got them all, and I am going to see about posting them somewhere. Like maybe, I think I'll put them in my video description So if you all want them later, that's where they'll be. You can just check the description box down below and you'll have all those trivia questions. And you can use them to stump your friends if you want to. Let me see. I might be able to add those now. I'm going to try it. And if it bombs, we'll know. But I'm going to put it just like all the way down at the bottom of the description box. Let's see here. Is it going? Is it going? Is it going? It's thinking about it. Yes. Okay, so I did. I posted them. Hopefully, you'll be able to get those like now or at the end of the live stream. Yeah. So there they are. And you can use them tomorrow or whenever, next year, whatever, and stump your friends. You know what would be better? I put it in the description box, but I think I'm going to put it on my blog too, which is the Bodacious Broads travel blog. And I'll post it over there, and then I'll post the link here. So that'll work. It's less to have to dig through. I think it'll be easier. But right now it's in the description. I'm just going to move it later. So, okay. So do you all have, hey, we've got a fourth person that just joined us. Hi and welcome. Do you all have any other questions or anything that you wanted to ask? Hopefully I got Natalie's taken care of and a couple of others. So, all right, you all, thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous Columbus Day. Go out, have some fun, take the day, have just a little day trip or a one-day vacation, just to kind of relax and change your scenery. You know, that's just fun sometimes. Oh, and Peter Parker, I did want to go back and pick up on something you said earlier. You mentioned snow. Actually, this time last year, we did have snow on the ground because they sent a mission team in to come and help from the Bahamas, which was really interesting because we usually go there. But anyway, this time this team came. They had never seen snow, and it snowed while they were here, and they were so over it by the time they left. Can't blame them, though. Can't blame them. But anyway, I thought that was just kind of funny. So you all, enjoy your day tomorrow. Just make it fun, make it special, have a picnic, go on a day trip, whatever you want to do. Just kind of make it fun. And I will see you all on some videos during this week and Sunday night at 7:30. And I'll do some pop-up live streams as well. You all take care. Peter, thanks for hanging out. You take care. I hope your nerve pain can get better and get you feeling better. All right. Okay.